Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about the ruling the countryside. The first point, the company becomes the Diwan. On 12 August 1765, the Mughal Emperor appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. The Mughal Emperor they are going to be appointed the East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. This agreement it was done in a small tent. But we can see in this picture, it was set up by a royal stage. Because of that, Robert Clive he instruct the painter to paint as a royal ceremony. Because of that, this was a very memorable moment in the life of Robert Clive. That's why a painter they can paint like this. And also after that, when they are receiving the Diwan of Bengal, the East India Company they are unwilling. Because of that, they are not interested to do all these things, because basically they came to India as a trader. Trader means here ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ವ್ಯಾಪಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಲಾಭವನ್ನು ಗಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ. Because of all these things, they are going to be getting the Diwan of Bengal. They are not interested to do all these things, the assessment, the collection of revenue. They have to make the administration, they have to maintain the army. How these are all the things it should be done by the British East India Company without interest. See here, next point, revenue for the company. Here the revenue of Bengal, it is directly go to the East India Company. Because of that, they are getting the permission by the Mughal Emperor, and also they can become the Diwan of Bengal. That's why they can unwillingly they can make the assessment, and also they can make the collection of revenue in the Bengal itself only. And also in the after 1865, we can see that before 1865, if the East India Company, if they buy the things from the India means, they have to be import the gold and silver from the England. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ what they wanted, like fine quality of cotton, the spices what they needed for the European market, they have to be give the gold and silver coin. It is imported by the England. But after 1865, the British East India Company they can stop the import gold and silver from the England. Because of that, what they are collecting the revenue in India, it is managed to all the activities. It is done by the East India Company in India. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವರ ಆಫೀಸಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವ್ರ ರಾಯಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಬಂಗಾಳ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಂತ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್. Here, so it was clear that the Bengal economy was facing a deep crisis. Because of that, the farmer, the artisans, the peasants, they left the Bengal. Because of that, the high duties it was imposed by the British East India Company. When they become the fail, that time the people they had to be leave the Bengal itself only. And also one more thing is there, in 1770 a terrible famine killed 10 million people in Bengal, and about 1/3 of the population was wiped out from the Bengal region. This is also one more reason why the Bengal become it look like a desert. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂಗಾಳ ಅಂತ ಅದೇನು ಆ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೇನಾಯಿತು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಈ ಮರಳುಗಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಜನಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಯಾರು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ ಬಂಗಾಳದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಜನಗಳು ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ various reasons. And that time the British East India Company they can make the plan. Next point, the need to improve agriculture. Then how we should improve the agriculture system. Because of that, the primary income of the British East India Company, it is nothing but the revenue from the farmers. That's why they have to be encouraged the agriculture in Bengal. That's why in 1793 the permanent settlement it was introduced by the British East India Company. According to this permanent settlement, the revenue it was fixed. In the future it was not will be increased. The British East India Company they can make the promise to the farmers of the Bengal itself only. Through this permanent settlement, the profit it will goes to the zamindars. Because of that, the revenue it was collected by the zamindars. Zamindars means here they are going to be called as the rajas or the talukdars. They are converted into the zamindars. And also the zamindar system also it has some problems. Because of that, when the zamindars they are become failure to pay the taxes it was fixed by the British East India Company, their zamindari right it will be lost. It will be auction. It will be lost in the auctions of the British East India Company. Next, and also sometimes the zamindars they did not have the interest to improve the land. Because of that, if they are improving the land means because they are getting the easy profit without taking any risk. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಲಾಭ ಗಳಿಸಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏಕೆ ಆ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಫಲವತ್ತಗೊಳಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ದ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಫಲವತ್ತತೆಯನ್ನು ಉತ್ತಮಗೊಳಿಸಬೇಕಂತ ಅವರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಟ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ in the villages, the cultivators found the system extremely oppressive. The rent he paid to the zamindar was high and his right on the land was insecure. Because of that, those who are going to be called as the cultivators or the farmers, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈತರು ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಅವರು ರೈತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಮೀನ್ದಾರರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, the land what they are cultivated by the cultivators, that is not permanent, that is insecure. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ರೈತರು ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಉಳುಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಆ ಭೂಮಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಸೇರಿದ್ದಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅವರು ಕಿತ್ಕೋಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ these are all the problems it was faced by the permanent settlements. Next point, a new system is devised. The next system is going to be called as, in the name of permanent system, is m.n.halli system. It was introduced by the m.n.halli in the 1822. Mahal means here in British revenue records, Mahal is a revenue estate which may be a village or a group of villages. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಹಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಪನ್ನ they are going to be called as the mahal. Here m.n.halli introduced the m.n.halli system. Because of that, in the permanent settlement, the revenue it was fixed. It is not going to be increased. Because of that, so much of officials, those who are in the British East India Company, they can think that we have to be expand our territory or administration system. Means here we need a more profit. That's why we have to be changing some rules and regulations in the agricultural department. That's why they can introduce the village have to be paid. Here in this system, the collector had to be go to village to village. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಸರ್ವೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಳ್ಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವನು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪೀರಿಯಾಡಿಕಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜ್. That year, what the zamindar he collected the tax from the peasants or farmer in the permanent settlement, it will be transferred into the headman of the village. Has to be collect the revenue from the farmer itself only. Next system is the Mundru system. Here the Mundru system also is going to be called as the Raitavari system. Here in the North India we can see the traditional zamindars, we can see very in North India, but in South India we didn't see the traditional zamindars in South India. Because of that, in the North India, the British East India Company, they have the direct contact with the zamindars. They didn't have the contact with the writers. But here in South India, the British East India Company officials, they are directly contact with the writers or the cultivators. That's why this system is going to be called as the Raitavari system itself only. This system it is having some characters of permanent settlements also. This system also, they have to make the separate survey according to the fertility of land. They have to be fixed the revenue, and also they have to be collected, and also that the Reed and Mundru, they can suggest that to the British East India Company, they have to be see the farmers of South India has the British East India, they have to be act like a paternal father figures to protecting the ರೈತರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ರೈತರನ್ನ ಅವರ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಆಧಾರದ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಓಕೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ Hall was not bad because of that permanent settlement, Mahalwari system and the Raitwari system. What we are going to be see, it is not bad because of that British East India Company. They can thought that they have to make the farmers in India. They are a rich enterpriser farmers, but it's become failure. Next point, crops for India. Indigo crops for Europe. The British also realized that the countryside could not only yield revenue, it could also grow the crops that Europe required. Because of that, after in the 18th century, the British East India Company, they can start that only collecting the revenue, only what they are making, start good. Along with that, they have to be grow the crops what they need. What they needed means here, what the European countries they needed, they have to be produced in the India itself only. That's why they should be pressurized or forced the farmers to cultivate the crops what they needed. Here, see jute in Bengal, tea Assam, sugarcane in the United Provinces, now Uttar Pradesh, wheat in Punjab, cotton in Maharashtra and Punjab, rice in Madras, what you are going to be called nowadays, it is Tamil Nadu. See here, these are all the crops what they needed to export to the England or European market. They forcibly grown in India. Here, how was this done? The British used a variety of methods to expand the cultivation of crops that they needed. Here, they can make several things. Several cultivators they should be expanding cultivations of crops what they needed. They can make the variety of methods. So, very method use ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. India was the biggest supplier of the indigo in the world at that time because in the 18th century India was the biggest supplier of the indigo in the world. Next point, why the demand for Indian indigo? Because of that Indian indigo, that indigo plant, it was grow in the tropical region itself only. That's why that Indian indigo, it was huge demand in the European market. Because of that, the manufacturers in Italy, France and Britain to dye the cloth, they are using this indigo plant to dye the cloth in the European countries. And also, however, the small amount of indigo, it was exported to the European market from India. It is only small amount, but it is having a high rate. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತದ ಏನು ರಫ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರ ರೇಟ್ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು. Here wood, that means here indigo planting is ಸಮನಾಗಿ it is equal to wood, we can see here because the wood plant they can easily grow in the England, Germany, Europe, most of the European countries they can easily grow the wood as a plant. Wood also they are using for the making it color in a blue color itself only. That's why so much of planters of European planters they can pressurize the government stop to import the indigo from India. That's why the government several years they are going to be ban the Indian indigo in the European market. Cloth dyers, however, before indigo has a dye, indigo produces a rich blue color, whereas the dye from wood was pale and dull. Because Indian indigo, the indigo plant, India ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತ indigo plant ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಣ್ಣವನ್ನು ತಯಾರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರಿಚ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದರ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಂದ ಏನು ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು ಅದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲುಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಪೇಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಲ್. ಅದು ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ all the dyer of cloth they prefer the Indian indigo. Next, the French began cultivating indigo in Saint Domingo in the Caribbean islands, the Portuguese in Brazil, the English in Jamaica, and the Spanish in Venezuela. Indigo plantation also came up in many parts of the North America. Here, the indigo, it is having so much of huge demand in the European markets. That's why so much of countries they started to be grow the indigo. Because of that, those who are having the tropic area, that lands they started to grow the crop as a indigo. By the end of the 18th century, the demand for Indian indigo grew further. Britain began to industrialize and its cotton production expanded dramatically, creating an enormous new demand for cloth dyes. While the demand for indigo increased, its existing supplies from the West Indies and America collapsed for a variety of reasons. Between 1783 and 1789, the production of indigo in the world fell by half. Cloth dyers in Britain now desperately looked for new source of indigo supply. In the 18th century, the demand for Indian indigo grew further and ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಹೋಯಿತು. But it will be collapsed in the 1783 and 1789. Because of that, North America and the what they are going to be called as the West Indies, what they are going to growing the crops as a indica, it will be stopped because of that various reasons. The famous reason is there you can see that in America and the West Indies they are using the black Negro people, they are going to be called as the slaves to work in the plantation. The people of those who are called as the slaves, they will be stopped to work in the plantation. That's why the production of indigo plant it will be decreased. That's why the supply from the American to West Indies to the European market will be declined. That's why we can see the industrialization in the 18th century. The Britain they have to be looking for some other alternatives. That's why they are looking for the another countries to get the indigo as a plant. Faced with the rising demand for indigo in Europe, the company in India looked for ways to expand the areas under the cultivation. That British East India Company, England, they have turned to India, and also the British East India Company they can make the plan how to expand the cultivation of indigo in India. From the last decades of the 18th century, indigo cultivation in Bengal expanded rapidly and Bengal indigo came to dominate the world market. In the 1788, only about 30% of the indigo imported into Britain was from India. By 1810, the proportion had gone up to 95%. From the last decades of the 18th century, in the Bengal, the productions of the indigo is dramatically improved, and also that in 1788 the import of the indigo from India to Britain only 30% is there. In 1810, 95% of the indigo what we are going to be seeing the European market indigo, it is come by the Bengal itself. Okay. As the indigo trade grew, commercial agents and the officials of the British East India Company they can resign their job. They should be have interested to be grow the crop as a indigo, and they should be waiting for high profit. And that officials who are agents ಏನಂತ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ತಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು ಆ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವರು ದೇ ಆರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಡಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ದುಡ್ಡಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಲೋನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ ಲೋನ್ ಇಂದ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಹೈ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಹೌ ವಾಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಬೆಳೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದ ಟೂ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ನಿಚ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಯೋಟಿ cultivation. Niche cultivation they should have only 25% of the land, right? Rio-T cultivation they should have the 75%. Out of the 100, 25% only niche cultivation, 75%, right? Rio-T cultivation you can see here. Within the system of niche cultivation, the planter produced the indigo in lands that he directly controlled. He either bought the land or rented it from other zamindars and produced indigo by directly employing hired laborers. In niche cultivation, we can see that the planter produced indigo in the lands that he directly controlled. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಏನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಈ ನಿಚ್ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವರ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ. The problem with niche cultivation. The planters found it difficult to expand the areas under niche cultivation. Indigo could be cultivated only on fertile lands, and these were already densely populated. Only small plots scattered over the landscape could be acquired. Planters needed large areas in compact blocks to cultivate indigo plantations. Where could they get such land from? They attempted to lease in the land around the indigo factory and evict the peasants from this area, but this always led to conflicts and tension. Here the plants, those who make the niche cultivation, they can face so much of problems. Because of that, what they are making the niche cultivation only, they should have the small patches of land. And also they wanted them use land. It is very near to the plant factory of indigo factory. Sometimes they forcibly can acquire the land. It is surrounded by the factory of indigo plant, but it's always causes for conflicts and tension. And also here they need a huge number of laborers. And also that 1 bighah of indigo cultivation required 2 plows. They should make 1000 bighas means they need 2000 plows. And also we can see one more problem is there. When they are getting when the indigo it is get the ripe, another indigo ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆಗಲೇ ಕೂಡ ಭತ್ತವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ they have to be cut off ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Both the crops they will getting in the same time. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಬೆಳೆಗಳು ಸೇಮ್ ಒಂದೇ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ they are facing the shortage of labor, and also they are facing the shortage of plows. Everything it will be every problem it will be faced by the niche cultivation. We can see the alternative mode of cultivation, that is niche cultivation. We can see Raita system. Indigo on the land of ryots. Here, under the Raita system, the planter forced the ryots to sign a contract and agreement. We can call as this Satta. At times, they pressurize the village headman to sign the contract on behalf of the Raitas. Those who signed the contract got cash advances from the planters at low rates of interest to produce indigo, but the loan committed Raita to cultivating indigo on at least 25% of the area under his holding. The planters provided seed and the drill, while the cultivators prepared the soil, sowed the seed and took off the crop. Here, niche cultivation alternative agi we can see the realty system. Realty system antandre under the planters forced the realty to sign a contract and agreement. We can call as the Satta. Andre avaru ಒಂದು Satta ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು agreement ಗೆ sign ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. Sometimes it will be forcibly they have to be taken the sign from the headman. According to this contract, how the Raitas ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈತರು ಅವರು ಏನು ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ 10 ಎಕರೆನ ಜಮೀನನ್ನು ಅವರು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ರೆ 2.5 ಎಕರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು. ಆ ಇಂಡಿಗೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬೀಜಗಳು, ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಿಷನ್ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಕಂಪನಿಯವರೇ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆದಿಲ್ಲ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ದಿ ಲೋನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. When the crop was delivered to the planter after the harvest, a new loan was given to the Raitas and the cycle started all over again. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅವ್ರ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವರು ಹೊಸ ಲೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಅದು ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್. ವೆನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕವರ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೋನ್, and also they can understand that cycle of loans never ended. The Raitas they will be started to be rebel against the planters. And also one more thing, why the planters they go against to grow the crop indigo in Bengal? Because of that, the indigo plant they should have the deep root. It need a fertile land. It will be exhausted the fertility of soil. That's why the farmers they can become the rebellion. They can go against the planters. Next point, the Blue Rebellion and after. In March 1859, thousands of ryots in Bengal refused to grow indigo. As the rebellion spread, Raitas refused to pay rents to the planters and attacked indigo factories. Armed with swords and stakes, bows and arrows, women stirred up to the fight with pots, pans and kitchen implement. Those who worked for the planters were socially boycotted, and the gumasters, agents of plants who came to be collect rent were beaten up. Writers swore they would no longer take advances to sow indigo nor to be bullied by the planters. Lathialas, the Lathi, wielding strongman maintained by the planters. In March 1859, thousands of Raitas in Bengal, they refused to be grow the indigo. As the rebellion spread, Raita refused to be grow the crop as indigo. They are attacked with the planters with the armored with swords, spades, bows and arrows. ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬಹುದು, ಕತ್ತಿ, ಗುರಾಣಿ, ಕತ್ತಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿರುತ್ತೋ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಗುಡ್ಲಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತಾರ, ಅವರು ಕಿಚನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ತಗೊಂಡು ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲಿ ಬಾಯ್ಕಾಟೆಡ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರ ಸಮಾಜದಿಂದ ಅವರನ್ನ ಹೊರ ಹಾಕಲಾಯಿತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ those are going to be called as the Gumastas and we can call as the Lathialas also. They will be out from the society. Lathialas ಅಂದ್ರೆ wielding strong man maintained by the planters, ಅಂದ್ರೆ we can call as the bodyguards nowadays. And also that blue rebellion in 1859, the indigo planters, they are getting the support from the zamindars, village headman and the so on. Because why the headman and the zamindars so on, they are going to be given the support? Because of that, what they are getting the rights in the ancient time, it was taken by the British company by implementing several new form of rules and regulations. That's why that local zamindars, local headman and so others, they are supported the Raitas of the Bengal. And also already that British East India Company, they already saw the one more rebellion in 1857. That is the first Sipahi movement. You can see Sipahi movement. That's why the British East India Company, they did not take the one more risk. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ 1857 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಒಂದು ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಳುವಳಿ ಆಯ್ತು ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ, ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ they should be take some precautionary measures. The Lieutenant Governor toured the regions of the winter in 1859. Lieutenant Governor General of Bengal, they should be two, and also the farmers, they can thought that it is a sympathy for their right. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕರುಣೆಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. And also then afterwards the British government, they can announce that what they are already getting the agreement between the planters and the Raitas, it will be what they are getting, it will be they have to be done. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರಿಬ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಆ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮುಗಿದ ತನಕ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮುಂದೆ ಅವರು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಹಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಔಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಆ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಲೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಂತ ಇತ್ತು, ಯಾವ್ದು ಫೋರ್ಸಿಬಲಿ 25 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಜ ಕಲ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೈತ ಡಿಒಟಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವು ಅದು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ವೈ ದಿ ಬ್ಲೂ ರೆಬಿಲಿಯನ್, it causes for several reasons this year. The Mahatma Gandhi, they are also entered into the Champaranya movement. That's why it take the it will be successful. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you.